And here we are looking at our very last video in this segment, an Introduction to HTML. Now we're going to be talking about inserting images. So, images is a lot of fun, images are interesting, they make web pages look nice, and they make people want to read the content. Hopefully, whatever content you have on a web page is matched by the image to help support it. Images are easy to put in as long as we can keep track of the code. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to click on my HTML tester, and we're going to head on out, and I'm going to get rid of these two pieces of text as we always do, and blank it out. Here we go. So there's a simple code for inserting images, and we're going to call it in by going IMG. IMG stands for image, so that should be pretty straightforward. Then we're going to go ahead and pull in our very first attribute. In this case, it's going to be SRC. SRC stands for source. So what is the image source? Well, it's the address where we'll find that image. So I'm going to go ahead and put in first my equal sign, then an open quotation, very similar to how we did links. You're going to find this is similar for many of the times we have a tag that has attributes that go along with it. And then I'm going to pull in an image. Now, if I had that image in the same folder as I have this HTML file, I'd only have to put just the name of the file, smile.jpg. Great. But in most cases, you're going to be actually linking to images that are on the web. In this case, I have a great image for you. We're going to go ahead and highlight and copy this particular image address or location. I wonder if you can figure out what it is. Let's find out. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. I'm going to close my quotation and close my bracket. Now most everybody's going, okay, well, Mr. Connors, we need to close that tag. Well, it turns out that in HTML, images that are defined with the IMG tag, well, you don't need to close them. I know it sounds crazy and I tell you have to close everything, but this is one of those that just doesn't work the same way. You don't actually have to close it. Now, by just going ahead and hitting See Results, boop, there's the image we're looking for. And this is, as you probably have guessed, it's an image of the design cycle that was created by someone by the name of Stephen Taylor. Big ups to Stephen Taylor. Now, coming back over here, I want you to understand that there are actually a couple things that we can do to this code, and I want you to be able to do these things with me. So when you get your code in, just know there's a couple of things we're going to add. Do you remember when we were doing links, we added the target attribute? Well, we're going to add some other syntax here, some other information. Specifically, we're going to start with one called alt. Alt actually stands for alternative text, and it's important when you're creating web pages that might be seen by people who might be visually impaired and who are actually surfing the web using a screen reader. It's a program that actually reads out loud to them what's on the page. Reading text is no problem, but how do you explain what a picture is? Well, if the person who's designing the web page is good about putting in a name or a description of what that image is, then it makes sense. So in this case, we're going to put MYP Design Cycle Graphic. There we go, simply enough. Now, if I were to click on See Results, you wouldn't actually see anything different here, but just know that in the background, somebody who can't see it and is just hearing what this is going to really be appreciative of you. Now, one thing you should also know is the fact that if you don't specify the height and width attributes of an image, it's just going to default to however big that image is. In some cases, some of the photos that we download off of our iPhones or off of our DSLR cameras are massive, they're huge. If we stuck those on, they would make our web page look crazy. So, we're going to keep the address, we're going to keep the alternative text, but we're going to go ahead and add on another attribute. In this case, we're going to go and use one called width. WIDTH equals, and then I'm going to determine how I'm going to display this. In this case, we're going to be using pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and in parentheses, just like we do with all of these, I'm going to go ahead and put 150. That tells me that the width of this is going to be 150 pixels. And so you can see how this works as well, I'm also going to call in a height, H-E-I-G-H-T, and I'm also going to go ahead and designate that to be 150 pixels as well. Now pixels, and we haven't talked about this yet, but they're little points of light on your screen. You'll see what's going to happen. You'll kind of go, oh, pixels are really, really tiny. Yeah, they are, but you'll see. If I hit See Result, boop, look how tiny that is. It actually doesn't look quite right. It looks like it got squeezed in the middle. And that's something important to know, because by default, the picture wants to be as big as its native resolution. But when I constrain its size using the width and height attributes, it gets a little funky. One thing I can do to keep it from getting squeezed one way or another is just by saying, look, I can't have it any higher than 150, so I'm going to keep the 150 and get rid of the width. In that case, I'm going to cut that out. Let's see the results there. And notice it stretches back to what it was. Now it's only constraining the height at 150, but it's leaving the width to be whatever it naturally would have been if 150 height was the thing. So I'm going to actually go ahead and paste that back in, because I did delete it, I just copied it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one out, and let's see now if it makes a difference. If I were to go ahead and see results, boom, it still looks good, albeit very tiny, because I'm only designating one or the other, height or width. So if you have a constraint you need to work with, either height, because you can't have it too high, or width, because you can't have it too wide, consider just constraining one of these instead of putting both. Because if you have an image that's not exactly a square, well, it's going to look a little funkified when you go through the process of using both. Anyways, so we now know how to bring in images, we know how to provide some alternative text, we know how to go through the process of constraining the height and width. That is awesome. That's pretty much the most important information. But there's lots of other things you can do, like making these images float around text. Advanced, I'm going to talk about it now. You could even go so far as to actually take this image and use this right there as the link to another web page. So you could technically make this a clickable image to take you to another web page. I'm going to leave that one for you to kind of figure out. There is one thing I do want to show you as well beyond this. It's great that I gave you an image, but how do you find your own? Well, let's just say I'm surfing the web and I go to, I don't know, the LaserDan Academy soccer page. Oh, hey, I know some of those guys. Oh, this would be a perfect image to choose. How do I get that image? Well, if you find an image that you like on a web page that you're happy with, if you right-click on it and choose something along the lines of open this image in a new tab, it'll show you just that image and not anything else. And there it is. What's great about that is there's the actual address or link to that. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, copy. I'm actually going to go back to, oops, not there, go back here. I'm going to type in, and you don't have to do this, you're going to do this on your own. I just want to show you, img src equals quote, hope you're getting used to this, pasting it in, closing the quotation there. And again, I could go just straight and close it there without putting in alternative text, without determining the height or width properties, constraining it. I would prefer, however, at least to put in some alt text. I think it's a good practice to make sure you do that. That way anyone needs to see it. So, some great guys playing football. You know, we're an international baccalaureate school. Why not use the international term for soccer? Here we go. Let's see how it looks, see results, and pop. There we go. So now I've got these two pictures next to each other. And if I want to put one below the other, just add a paragraph tag. And I'm going to actually say, well, why don't we add in one more? But I'm actually going to ask you to add in two more for me. In fact, I'm going to give you one very specific image I want you to pick from, and then I'm going to let you choose. But here's the deal. Let's say I wanted to go to Google and find a picture. Les Jardins. Oops, let's go space. Let's start at Google. Boom. I want to find an image. Let's see. Okay, Google. Les Jardins Academy. Yeah, Laser Tag Academy. Not what I want. Yeah, I love laser tag, but that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go and look at images and see if we can't find some awesome images. Look at all these awesome images over here. And I know some of these people. I bet if I look long enough, I might actually be able to find myself. Oh, Mr. Stark. Here we go. So, here's an image off the web. I want to use this image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. There it is. But how do I get just this image? Well, I could go through the process of viewing the image itself. There's the link I want. Copy, go over into my thing and paste it in. I'm not going to use that one. What you could do is find an image of, I don't know, some other 5th graders you know. In fact, I want you to do this for me. Go to the LaserDan Academy website. Go to, I think it's academics, then go to lower school, eventually find class glimpse, and scroll down to the bottom and you'll find some 5th graders. You go ahead and pick which one you want to use. Simply, again, right-click and choose, open a new tab, right? Find that tab, find that wonderful code, copy it, go back, paste it into your editor, and let's see it over here on the side of the screen. And then I want you to pick one other picture of your own. So again, one picture, of your 5th grade, classmates from the LJA Academics page. And then pick one other picture on the web for me. Okay? So get those 2 in, just like we did these 2. I can't wait to see them. I know they're going to be really great. You get special things for me out there. Just make sure they're appropriate, right? Don't get me fired because you're putting inappropriate pictures on the web. Shame on you. But make it funny too, and we'll see. All right? Thanks, guys. I'll see you in class. Aloha.